Hi, I'm Bucha, your narrator and guide through this video series. The purpose of this series is to dissect and examine the phenomenon that is Star Citizen, a crowdfunded video game that has raised unprecedented funding and stands to make an impact on its parent industry, for better or worse. I am not a disinterested voice reading a script I have no investment in. Star Citizen was something I was deeply invested in, both financially and emotionally. On the emotional end, Star Citizen represented a video game that I wanted to play, as well as representing 1,000 scattered and vague fantasies I had both in childhood and growing up, and escapist daydreaming in adulthood. Space and science fiction hold a place near and dear to my heart, and the creator of Star Citizen's previous works occupied a not insignificant part of my memories and imagination functions. It's no surprise that, as a gift of appreciation, one of the dearest gifts I hold is an original prop helmet from the video game series I loved growing up. This is it. On the financial end, I was called, in terms of the project, a big fish. I gave the project funds in excess of $10,000 in a lump sum, which required more complex financial transactions than simply clicking a donate button. At the time, it was the largest lump sum they had received from any one person not part of the development team. I considered it a privilege to be a small part of the financial success of the project and ongoing development, and I did my best to treat that position with the responsibility it required, and to ensure Star Citizen was a financial success. This is a profit-sharing agreement and NDA I signed. And as a bonus to citizens watching, here's my citizen card. First run. Over the course of 2 years and several months, I provided gifts and refreshments to the development team, assisted media in logistics, camera operation, and filming, worked major company events both livestream and conventions as crew, provided input on decisions when asked, and asked employees what their needs were in order to better facilitate getting those needs addressed. This project was the culmination of dreams and opportunity. I was a true believer in Star Citizen. But that changed. I began to have reservations about the direction Star Citizen was taking. The continued fundraising began to make my investment agreement less and less valuable as development costs rose. The managerial experience began questioning the workload, feature creep, and technology choices. The nose test started smelling something funky in certain executive appointments. And as a fan, what wasn't being told to me was bothering more than what was being told. I began to ask questions and get answers, but while employees stated their concerns under anonymity, executive staff were unconcerned or unresponsive. In the end, I decided that the project and I should mutually terminate the investment agreement, and that I would not take any interest on the lump sum. In the months and years to follow, many employees of Star Citizen, former and current, reached out to me to share their experiences, which were overwhelmingly and startlingly negative. I continued my own investigations as to what was going on, and what I discovered was a project suffering from rampant mismanagement, massive inexperience, and an executive staff taking advantage of opportunity for themselves at the detriment of the project. While I did all right by me, tens of thousands of true believers continue to throw good money after bad at Star Citizen, which then influences hundreds of thousands of others to give money to the project, a project that is in big trouble. This story is a personal journey for me, but it is not just my story. It is the story of hundreds of employees and thousands of backers who at one point or another have felt or seen the unspoken reality beneath the positive smiling veneer of Star Citizen's development. This industry already demands a lot from its employees, but to allow bad practices to be swept under the rug in the name of the product would be doing them a terrible misservice. Many employees, current and past, have been hurt by decisions made by the executive staff, and there is legitimate concern that such bad practices will be adopted by those in the industry that think they can do it better, rather than doing the right things. My sources will remain confidential and anonymous, except for those who have named themselves publicly with such statements, or when names have been attached to publicly available material. I will tread a delicate line with what can be publicly shareable, for while I have a wet paper bag's worth of anonymity myself, I am still liable for some things. I will have opinions and I will state them as such, and not as fact. Star Citizen does not end with the last video of this series. probably exist in development. What happens to it ultimately lies in the hands of its creators and executive staff. A YouTube video series isn't going to bring down a 400 plus workforce company that raised over 170 in funding. It will be by their own design. That's all the serious and dour stuff out of the way. If you'll indulge me and stick around, I'd like to take you on a personal journey through the past to the present, and into the cracks and crevices of this alien mutated development. Because nothing exists in the void, we start with history.